Attack on Titan fans are used to thinking deeply about morals, what is right and wrong, and how most things can't fit neatly into either, how past mistakes can haunt a group of people for generations, and how messy and tragic war can be. Many anime use war as a setting for its plot, but few are able to capture the destructive, gruesome, and often selfish reasons and reality of it quite like Attack on Titan. However, this year's Eighthy Six might just be able to compete. Set in a world where one race of people uses another as cannon fodder for a decades-long war, the lines are a bit clearer than AOT of what constitutes good and evil. But this isn't the crux of the show. The concept of the brain, the head, and memories shows up throughout the series, connecting the characters to one another across distance, time, and even in death. Today we'll be exploring how Eighthy Six uses these concepts to create a captivating and painful story on par with one of the greatest anime of the decade. Welcome, anime friends. If you are new here, there's one rule you must follow. Make sure to grab your cup because it's time to spill the anime tea. Of course, there's going to be major spoilers for Eighthy Six ahead as well, so you have been warned. In the year 2048, a race of people known as the Alba have created their own pristine republic known as San Magnolia. Protected deep within their walls, they fight an exhaustive battle using drones against an army AI from a nation that has long since fallen, boasting their low casualty rate to their citizens on a daily basis. But that's a lie, because the drones they use to fight aren't unmanned, but full of people known as 86, a number that represents the last district of the Republic of San Magnolia, which once housed those who were not of the Alba race. One Alba, who is a major in the military and wholeheartedly against the cruelty of using real people to fight wars on behalf of the Republic, becomes a handler to a team known as the Spearhead Squadron. Her naivete soon turns to the realization that helping the 86 will be more difficult than she realizes. On the other end, the members of the Spearhead Squadron enjoy their last days together, whilst heading into battles that take many of their comrades, while the handler and the squadron build a tentative connection that soon upsets the balance of the military and the state of the Republic. Rewrite the codes of memories, smile with me with delight please, su nao ni to feel so free. This is a line from Hands Up to the Sky, one of the endings for 86. A brief representation of how memories and freedom play a part in the show. Fallen soldiers ask their Reaper, Shin, to carry on their memories and to not forget them. Each surviving soldier holds the memory of a friend they lost, physically and psychologically, keeping their names alive, carving out their plates from their mechas and preserving them. Even the handler, after learning their names and drawing what she thinks they might look like, adds those that have fallen into a box. The handlers is one of the first connections and one of the first point of views that we see into the world of 86. The handler's connection to the 86 and their drones is via a device known as a paralink. It's a device that connects directly to the base of the neck, and it makes a direct link with audio and sometimes other senses like visual from her to the members of the Spirit Squadron. The Lena, the handler, had nothing to remember the Spirit Squadron by but their voices. She created a connection with them by learning their names and giving them faces and identities, making them human and therefore making them real. Where the Republic had tried to remove all of their humanity by giving them code names and considering them to be nothing but animals. It's a very human thing to assign value to a life only after it's been named, only after a human connection has been made to it. In real life, whether wars or other mass violence events are reported, oftentimes numbers of people's lives are given, but not always their names. It's only when a name and a face is added to the list that people create a connection and truly begin to care. This concept of naming and organizing is also sometimes said to give humans a sort of power, because it makes us see and feel seen. It makes us understand and be understood, because humans have a need to organize and make sense of the world around us, and names is just one way of doing so. But memories are concepts that live in the mind, and an important part of 86 is a reference back to the head and the mind, such as is the case with Shin and his scar. Shin's brother, Ray, is a recurring figure in the series. Well, at least his memory is, because once the series starts, he is long since dead. Ray has almost killed Shin as a child by strangling him to death. The near-death experience that Shin felt created a link between him and the dead, allowing him to hear the thoughts of his brother, and as well as the thoughts of the 500 fallen comrades that he had to fight alongside and who he helped go into the afterlife. This experience also creates a connection to the Legion, who uses the brains of fallen soldiers to recreate their AI. But on the battlefield, everyone can hear the voices of the dead because the last memories and the last words that the brain said before dying get repeated over and over again when they are part of the Legion's AI. It's a chilling reminder that even in death, these soldiers weren't free. In the first half of the series, Shin is searching for his brother's calls. He wants to kill him, he wants to confront him, and he wants to prove his memory right or wrong. It's what keeps him going and what keeps him alive. He uses it as a way to continue moving forward, but unlike the other ghosts that he hears, he doesn't hear the last words of his brother. Instead, he hears the words that his brother told him before he tried to kill him. He hears these words repeating in his mind, almost as an excuse to create an inhuman image of himself. Shin takes it upon himself to bring his brother and fallen friends to their final resting place, to help them finally be free, and he becomes their Grim Reaper. It's an identity that keeps him alive, but also burdens him as he struggles with the idea of retaining his own humanity, of wanting more than just a title on the battlefield. This leads us to Shin's burden as the Reaper. After killing his brother, escaping the control of the Republic, and being rescued by the Confederacy, Shin and the others grapple with the idea of staying and living ordinary lives. But Shin's burden follows him, and he promises the voices of the dead that he'll see it through to the end, and he and the others head back to the battlefield. But without a single driving force like he had previously, he begins to lose his sense of identity and struggles to come to terms with the fact that everyone might leave him behind and he might be the only one left. This is escalated once he realizes that the Major, Handler 1, and the Republic has fallen and that not even she will be there left to remember him. This makes him reckless, begging for a way out, to release him from the burden of always being the last one left, of always having to carry everyone else's memories and hopes. Purpose is something brought up often in the series. Each member of the squadron tries to come up with reasons to continue living, even when they are continually faced with certain death. Because if you can't find a reason to keep going, it's the same as giving up, the same as dying. But Shin's reasons are always rooted in protecting the memories of others. But it's something that takes a toll on him once he realizes there won't be anyone left to remember him. One of the most chilling concepts brought up in the series is the Legion's use of human brains for their AI. Because they are just portions of the brain taken right after death, the voices of the dead repeat their final words in a haunting loop. This is another reason why Shin shoots his comrades if he's able to find them, and becomes their Reaper. This concept of AI being built directly from the minds of people is very chilling to me, even scarier than most other AI-based plots that I've seen or watched, mostly because it feels more realistic, that there's a higher possibility that this could happen before a AI that is truly autonomous is created, because it's just in human nature to try to exploit other humans for the sake of progression. It also plays into the themes of the world of Eighthy Six, that people want to ignore the true horrors of war or the true horrors of the future and technology, and the ugly truth that humanity and progress isn't as clean or sophisticated as it might seem, or that we might want it to be. One of the most heartbreakingly beautiful depictions of memories in the show has to be the moment when we see Fido's memories. In a scene right before he's destroyed, Fido, considered the Spearhead Squadron's dog, even though he's a robot, flashes through recorded memories, starting with Shin when he was very young, all the way to the final days of the squadron. The various times that other soldiers talked to him mixed with their last and darkest moments, providing imagery of characters that died long ago and giving their lives and personalities more context. This was probably one of the more genius ways that they were able to show flashbacks in the series, because besides Fido's recorded memories, the only way that other characters were remembered were through flashbacks through characters or them just talking about the characters that had already passed away. But Fido's memories gives us a first-hand experience of what these characters look like in their final moments or in the days leading up to their final moments. It had to be one of the saddest, realist depictions of just life and death in the show. And it really brought like ugly, pained tears to my eyes as I watched it. It didn't help that on top of that, at the end of the sequence, Fido loses its life. All these uses of diving into characters and their memories and making each person feel real and their memories feel real really emphasizes the importance of shows like this, just bringing life to war and giving things a name and not just seeing numbers and values. Though 86 is less subtle in its approach about revealing the true gruesome nature of humans and war like AOT does, it still deserves to be recognized for its raw emotional storytelling and its amazing use of memories and flashbacks to tell compelling stories about its characters. It also does an amazing job to remind us that at its core, everything humans do and create reflects back on us and our history. We are single-handedly the creator as well as the destroyer of our problems. Though the ending of 86 was very satisfying, I still want another season. I really say this for shows that end in such a great way like this one did, but the reason I bring it up is because there was so much character story in this arc. Like, we just learned so much about the characters, which is really important to understanding and experiencing the world. However, there's questions that have yet to be answered that still have time to be answered if there were another season. Like the fact that we didn't really get to learn about the true story of the Jiotin Empire, why it fell, and why the Legion still exists. Just like Shin and the others said, I want to see it through to the very end, and I really hope that this show gets another season so that we all can experience that. I also have to come in here and step up for my mecha anime, because mecha tends to get kind of overlooked for just being a type of genre that only focuses on giant robots and has no real context or substance, which I have to highly disagree, because almost all of the mecha that I have seen has some kind of deep rooted storytelling involving characters and their lives and wars and battles and just these really deep, complex topics that don't really get talked about in other anime genres. I've never watched a show completely that gave me chills the entire way through like this one has. I was shook to my core in almost every episode, and my heart hurt many, many times. And of course, I watched this all in English dub, except for the last 2 episodes, which weren't dubbed by the time that I watched it, but the English dub was fantastic. There are plenty more things I could have broken down about how this show just is able to depict the realities and the tragedies of a war and make everything feel so real for these characters, but then this video would be way too freaking long, so I'm gonna stop here. My name is Phoenix, and I dive into the world of visual storytelling in anime and sometimes manga on a weekly basis. And if you want more videos like this, make sure to click my little face up here to subscribe, or if you want to watch more videos similar to this, make sure to watch this one next. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.